Brussels and AstraZeneca are already locked in a dispute over a shortfall in deliveries, and to make the case, the Commission has this afternoon now published their contract and is also threatening to block vaccine exports if its own orders have not yet been fulfilled. Well, let's go live now to a reporter, Jack Parrock, who is in Brussels with the very latest. Jack, you've been looking through this document that has been published. Can you give us a sense of what it says and whose sides it might come down on, AstraZeneca's or the European Commission's?
Hi, Darren. I'm getting blown out by the sun a little bit here, so excuse me, which is unlikely for a January hay. But from the initial contract that we're seeing, it's 42 pages long so far, but it all comes down really, I think, to Article 6.2 within the contract, which is about capacity limitations. Now, I'm going to read this out to you a little bit. It says that in the event of AstraZeneca's inability to fulfill its obligations under the agreement, if it's impeded by other contracts, then it will be, to the extent of AstraZeneca's performance under this agreement impeded by other contracts, they shall be deemed in breach of it. But in the contract it also says that AstraZeneca shall continue to use best reasonable efforts, and this is where the European Commission and this drug maker have had this fight. Should AstraZeneca be forced to continue to uphold its side of the bargain if other contracts come in, AstraZeneca says it needs to do best reasonable efforts. The Commission says it should have been constantly upholding its side of its contract to produce and provide around 100 million doses to the European Union in the first quarter of 2021.
Yeah, it's quite difficult to work out, isn't it, at this stage, what it all does mean. Lots of it's redacted. Lawyers, of course, will go through it with a fine-tooth comb, I've got no doubt. But there is also this threat hanging over AstraZeneca and indeed potential other pharmaceutical companies this afternoon that they may well block vaccine exports altogether from the EU. And we're expecting more on that as well later, aren't we?
We are indeed. Yeah, when you talk about the redactions, it's kind of humorous at some points. Cost of goods, totally redacted, nothing to be seen there. And also quantities that they were meant to be delivered, redacted. And that's actually kind of what we would all want to see, right? But as you say, the question is now whether the European Union will decide to put on these export checks to prevent any drug maker, any vaccine maker from exporting to other countries outside the European Union vaccines that have been produced within the European Union. That is something that the European Union is looking at. Now, external countries, this is really about the United Kingdom, because the accusation is that AstraZeneca is sending the jabs that were meant for the EU to the United Kingdom. Other countries probably won't be too unhappy about that as long as it remains within a contractual basis, because companies sign up for the vaccines that they order with countries and in the EU's case a supranational organisation like the European Union.
Now, it's proving somewhat to be Vaccine Friday, because we've also got another announcement this afternoon, and that's from the EMA on whether this AstraZeneca vaccine should be approved at all. But again, there's some dispute about whether it will be approved for the over 65s. And there's a feeling potentially that is there politics at play here? And will this potentially undermine some confidence in that vaccine?
Yeah, big question, Darren. As you say, it's our viewers must have been watching us throughout the last week or so while this spat between AstraZeneca and the EU's been going on, and questioning why it's all going on so far ahead of it even being approved for marketing and delivery in the European Union. Well, we expect that to happen today. It's already approved in the United Kingdom, and the European Medicines Agency should do that. But we know that the German health regulators are saying that they don't want it to be given to people over the age of 65 because they don't believe, firstly, that it's as effective in that age group as it claims to be, so sort of over 90%. And also they say that there's not enough data to be used to prove that it is actually safe. So they want to be used for only the under 65 group. We don't know whether the European Medicines Agency will agree with that. But on top of all of this, you have to remember that while the European Union the vaccine rollout has been slow, what they really need is shots now. So they do need these AstraZeneca shots to come once the EMA approves.